All right, guys, as you can tell by the thumbnail and the title, we're going to do a state of the collection. People have been asking for a long time for me to do a state of the collection of knives. And I'm going to attempt to do the entire collection. I have them all here relatively within arm's reach. I may need to pause it in the middle because there's some on a back table that I can't reach, but I may just, I don't know. I'm going to get all the ones that are here in reach first, and then maybe I'll just grab those from the table. Maybe I'll pause it and, whatnot. But we're going to do one long video of my entire collection, save for what I believe is 4 knives that are loaned out right now. 3 to one person and 1 to two other YouTube channels. So I figured this is about as close as I'm going to get to having the entire collection together, because I do loan knives out to other channels. So I know that I have to ship some of these out to a Therapeutic Edge and Women Carry Knives. So I'm filming this tonight, and I'm going to box up some of these to ship to them tomorrow. So let's just dive right in. These are in no particular order. I hopefully will remember the names of all of them. And yeah, let's get into it. So first off, we have the Kubi KU something D2. Very cool knife. This particular one is brand new. Yeah, I love Kubi stuff. Dave at This Old Sword Blades turned me on to Kubi. So we've got that Kubi. We have another Tucson here. I don't remember the model number of this one, but this one does get a lot of use. And I love this one. It's all titanium with a D2 blade. Very cool knife. Now, I'm not going to go into details of all of the knives, okay? I've done videos on all the knives you're going to see, I think. So we're just going to try to breeze through them, all right? This one I've had forever. Cold steel, super edge. This just a little, just a great little utility knife. So I love that one. Gets a lot of use. This is a full carbon fiber knife made by a guy I know on Instagram, R.E. Edge, I think it is. It's been a while since I've talked to him. Kind of a cool little just carbon fiber knife. Okay, we'll toss that off to the side. We'll toss this one off to the side. We have the Frank Fisher Fixed Battle, which is just a very cool little fixed blade in a Lancelot leather custom sheath that is absolutely better than cardboard. If you know, you know. How about a Hellraiser P series? Black G10 stonewash blade. How about another Hellraiser P series? OD green PVD blade with dual thumb studs. Yes, I have a Hellraiser problem. How about a Dolica from Keith? Honored to have gotten a Dolica. Spyderco Delica with the Damascus blade. Cool little knife. This is a knife I use for my shipping. When I actually ship knives out, I use this to cut the tape and cut the label and all that stuff. How about a Pocket Ryu? These you can't get yet. Honest EDC made a few hundred of these, but they've not been released. But I do have one so that when he's ready to release, I can do a full review on this knife. But I've been carrying it a lot. It's very cool. Okay, so moving right along, the CJRB Mylea, a super cool knife. I took this with me to Hawaii because it fit in that little pocket inside of my swimsuit. So this one went to Hawaii with me and did a lot of ocean going and river going. How about the small honey badger? I think this is the small. I get confused between the small and the medium. And I never did really break down and get the full honey badger set, but yeah, it's on my list at some point. But the Honey Badger is just a cool little knife. My favorite budget knife. I think it's still my favorite budget knife. The Kubi KB237 gets a lot of use in unboxings, breaking down cardboard. Just a great knife. The glow-in-the-dark Spyderco Delica. I use this for all of my size comparisons and some unboxings. A great little knife, and it glows in the dark, so come on. What is not to love there? Serge Pachinko Bean, I think this is. It's a double detent, kind of cool. This was actually a gift from my brother. I think it's kind of cool. How about the Big Brother, the Sharknivko Ryu, full size, handmade custom from my good friend Eddie. Thank you, Eddie. I'm glad I finally was able to get one. Civivi Fracture slip joint. I was on a live stream. Well, I was a viewer of a live stream today from Mattisfaction, who said he never sees me do slip joints. Well, here is the Civivi Fracture slip joint, which I did a full video on the day that it was released. This one was actually given to me by Civivi for doing a video on their release day. Okay. Something that I carry every single day, this small Victorinox. I don't know the model number. I've had this in my pocket on this little LED light for 10 plus years. Every time I walk out of the house, this is in my pocket, guaranteed. Okay? Speaking of the Victorinox, how about a sprinkle donut? Dessert Warrior, small, tiny Victorinox, and the larger size. Again, I don't remember the models of these. I think this is the Tinkerer. I don't remember. It's the Dessert Warrior version. Okay? And we'll just stay on the Victorinox kick. How about the Swiss Champ? This one I carried out in the field while I was a service technician and installation tech in low voltage industry. This got a ton of use. Between this and the original Leatherman, if you think back way before they had names, they had one model. You got it in stainless steel or you got it in black. Between those two on my belt and my, back then, my Makita 9.6 volt cordless drill, dude, I could pretty much install and fix anything with the Swiss Champ, the Leatherman, and my Makita drill. All right, so moving right along here, let's jump over. Let's just finish what's on this table, and then I'll go to the other table behind me. We've got a Frederick Knives custom that I got from my good friend 50 Shades of Slash, and then had Sean Campbell do a couple of modifications to it, or a couple of fixes. Love that one. It's very cool. Let's go to my original Hellraiser P-Series, the one I got while I was watching Jim Skelton's video on the Hellraiser P-Series. So this one gets carried a ton. We'll just go through some Hellraisers because they're all right here. How about the Hellraiser P-Series Automatic? Very cool. I wish the spring was a little bit stronger, but that's okay. Speaking of Jim Skelton, Jim Skelton's original custom Hellraiser, the first Hellraiser that Ed Kim from Red Horse Knife Works ever made. This one actually gets a lot of pocket time now for me. How about another custom Hellraiser with Timascus thumb stud, Timascus jewel on the zirconium pocket clip, zirconium bolsters. Just a very cool Hellraiser with the Timascus backspacer. One more Hellraiser here to go. The Damasteel Flipper. There's only a handful of Flipper Hellraisers, so I'm super honored to have this back in my collection. I helped somebody sell it, and the person I sold it to sold it back to me. Again, zirconium bolster, zirconium pocket clip, Timascus wheel in the pocket clip, Damasteel blade, Damasteel pivot collar, and Damasteel backspacer. This one is actually getting more pocket time than I thought it would. I did not love the pocket clip when I first saw it, but it's growing on me, and it actually carries really well in the pocket. All right, so give me a half a second here to move a few of these things out of the way so that I have room for some others, and I don't get them too confused with ones that I haven't done yet. Okay. All right, here's another slip joint. Well, no, this is not a slip joint. This is the, what is it? It's the Red E. I don't remember the exact name of this one. It's a prototype. I got this from Everyday City Carry. It's world legal, it says, because it is a smaller blade and it has actually 3 stops. So I guess it is a slip joint with 3 stops. It's kind of a cool knife. I won that from Ray over at Everyday City Carry, who is going to be a guest or the next guest on the EDC Hour with Dirk and Alex. So check that out on Sunday, March 13th, 5 p.m. Pacific time. So moving on to a fixed blade here. This is from Forever Knives. I met Nolan at a custom knife show, the California Custom Show, a number of years ago. Bought this from him, and it's a fantastic and amazingly sharp fixed blade in a very cool carbon fiber pattern Kydex sheath. Love this one. And I'm not even a super great fixed blade guy. Okay, I'm going to grab a few more here to bring out to this table and set down close to me. Oops, almost dropped one on the floor. All right, the Todd Fisher Sr. Archangel. Yeah, I mean, this gets a lot of pocket time. I bought this used. It was already a little bit scratched up. Well, it's more scratched up now because I wear this and carry this one quite a bit. It's got the Archangel. We have a Kaiser GTI. Wow, didn't realize it was got some stuff on it. I actually did break down some cardboard with this recently. This is a cool one. This one, I may actually be doing a for sale video here shortly. I have some knives from a friend who wants me to sell, and this one might get added to that collection. We shall see. Okay. How about another fixed blade? This is the Toor knives, Toor. And I swear I cannot even pronounce the name. It begins with a K. I did a full video on this. This is actually a very cool knife with a couple of issues. It's very sharp over here. And a local knife maker here in Napa. He and I have been trying to get together for a while. We just haven't been able to connect. He's going to knock that down for me, re-acid etch it, and just, we're going to clean it up. And here at his shop in Napa, we just need to coordinate some time so that I can get over there and we can do that. All right, let's do this as a set right here. We've got the Desert Warrior Mini, the Standard Desert Warrior, and the XXL Desert Warrior. Now, if it were up to me, they would do an XL, so kind of between these two, and they would do a mini or a sub over here, because I know that Boker does make the sub automatic. I recently did a video from a viewer that lent it in, and I think they need to make that in the Desert Warrior motif so that they have all the sizes available. All right, let's go into some bag knives now. This is one of 20. This is the Dragon Lady Bodega. Okay, going to move these off to the side a little bit. And that matches perfectly with my one of one Dragon Lady Bugatti. Back when they were starting to do overbuilt knives and that became a thing with Medford and all those guys, bag knives put together the Bugatti model, which was kind of a joke because it was just so big and massive with a 1/4 inch blade stock They didn't think they would sell. They sold like freaking hotcakes. So they kept making them. And I was able to talk Mark Begg into making me this one off to match this one. And I'm so honored that he did. These will probably be a pair that never leave my collection. Probably. Okay, we have a Steelcraft Begg Knives Steelcraft Series Field Marshal with the Damasteel blade. We have another one-off Bodega with a G10 frame, carbon fiber inlays, a beautiful herringbone Damascus blade from Vegas Forge, and then of course, the titanium lock bar. They have this removable lock bar. So the rest of the frame is G10. This particular part is titanium, and it works fantastic. And it's super light, yet feels great in the hand. Okay. How about another Steelcraft Bodega? Got this from Knives Shipped Free on a 50% off sale. I could not pass it up. Super awesome. Damasteel Glimpse. This is one of two. Carbon fiber inlay, Damasteel blade. Just beautiful. The pivot collar is Damasteel. It's just a beautiful knife. And the Glimpse model was not my favorite model, but after I held one and handled one for a while, because my brother had one that I got to check out for an extended period of time, the Glimpse really grew on me. Okay. Last but not least, in the Begg Knives lineup, I think, is the Bodega. This is Big Red. Did come from Jim Skelton. And it's one of three that they made with the red G10. So it's one of three. And I know the other two owners, which is super cool to me, that we keep in touch on Instagram and whatnot. So that's just kind of a cool thing for me. There's three made, and I know all three of them. Okay. Let me just set these off to the side right quick so that I've got some room for some other knives. All right. The last one that is here on the table is the Frank Fisher Battle. I don't know if any other words are needed other than, yeah. This is still my Grail knife. I've had it almost a year now at the time of filming. I still absolutely love it. I still am absolutely in awe every time I carry it, every time I handle it. It's just beautiful. And yeah, it is truly one of my favorite knives in the collection. Okay, I'm going to leave this right here while I step to the back and grab a few more knives off of the back table. All right, and I'm back. We have a ZT 0450. This was my, this is the knife I carried when I was jogging back in the day when I was doing triathlons and training. I always wanted to carry a knife. Rule number 9, of course. So I had to have a knife, and this is perfect for that type of activity. A Benchmade. I do not know the number of this one. I've had this one for 10, 15 years. Just a nice little Benchmade automatic with a partially serrated blade. How about a Benchmade 940-1, the carbon fiber version? Very cool knife. Again, I've had this one for a long time that still looks brand new because, quite frankly, I never really carried it. I like it. I don't know that I'm going to keep it forever because I never carry it. Spyderco Police Model. As you guys know, anybody that's followed my channel, the Police Model was the first real knife that I owned back in 88, 89 when these first came out. I was able to order one from Weeby Knives, a store in San Francisco on Pier 39. They had to order it because they only were right-handed or left-handed back in the day. And they didn't have any right-handers. So I ordered it and waited about 3 or 4 months for it to come in. Here's another fixed blade with a little lanyard. I don't know who this is from. I've had this maybe 10 or 15 years also, maybe longer, maybe 20 years. Hard to say. But yeah, this one has been around for a long time. But just one more example of fixed blades that I have. All right, how about a Eric Kramer Reaper? This is an awesome knife. I bought this a few years ago at a custom knife show, straight from Eric. The thing I loved about it was how smooth the action is, just like glass. And it has wood as the backspacer. It's iron wood, which apparently is a wood that is so dense, it doesn't even float. So I love this knife. I carry this one quite a bit also. So just a great knife, and having bought it directly from Eric is super cool. How about a Benchmade Griptilian? This is the 550-1 or something. This was more of a limited edition, I think. Don't quote me on that. This one I actually got as a birthday present many years ago, probably 7 or 8 years ago now. Super cool. Doesn't get carried much anymore at all, but hey, it's still part of the collection. Okay, as far as fixed blades, I do have an Etsy 5. I believe this is, yeah, the Etsy 5. I won this from Jake, the Medford guy. So this is a cool one that's just a great, kind of beater, chunky fixed blade. That would be great in like a truck, just thrown in a toolbox or something. Another fixed blade in a custom Kydex sheath made by a buddy of mine is the Cold Steel Recon Tonto, I think is what this one is. And this was a second. So it had some blemishes. So it has a number 2 embossed in the butt. What happened was the coating was too thick. You can see that you can't really read the model numbers and all that stuff. So they sold it as a second. So I got a great deal on it. And again, I bought this 10, 15, maybe 20 years ago, before I was really into collecting knives. Okay. Let me push these off to the side just a little bit, get them out of the way. All right, let's go with the Z Hunter. I was honored enough that a viewer sent me a Z Hunter a while back, so I know that I actually have arrived in the YouTube world, I guess. Spring assist, totally not centered. Just, yeah. If you know, you know. But yes, I was honored to get that sent to me. Now I got a couple of Medfords. The Marauder H. Wow. The Marauder H from the first Centurion event. I was one of the original Centurions and was one of the 12 or 13 that actually showed up and came to that event that very first time. So that was super cool. I met some really good friends at that event. So much so that I went on to the second Centurion event and got this on belay that does not flip. It has a flipper tab, but as you saw, it doesn't flip. Centurion 2, the on belay. I never carried this one at all because the on belay is a model I just didn't even like. But I will say that I am still friends with the entire group that went to that first one. We're in a small group chat on Facebook, and we talk literally still every day. I consider them lifelong friends because that was like 4 years ago when we went to that first one and met, I think. How about a fixed blade Medford? This is the Praetorian neck knife. There's a story about this one, but we won't go into that because I'm already taking up a lot of time trying to bang through the entire collection. One last Medford is the Grenade Tie with a Nichols Damascus San Mai blade, titanium frame, you know. It is a cool Sanmai, not perfectly centered. It was something that the group of us asked Greg to make, and he made just enough for our group, plus a couple that he did sell. Yeah, so this just a kind of a very special couple of Medfords for me because of the relationships that I was able to build with those guys that I am still to this day very good friends with. All right, I'm going to jump back to the table behind me again for a second. And okay, so now I've got some Phil Harvey knives, and I'm going to show these just in the order that I got to them. This is the Gladius. Awesome knife. I got this from, again, my good friend, 50 Shades of Slash. Just a very cool knife. Super hard to close because it's so thick. So I'm just going to leave it off to the side. And then I was able to get a Peacemaker, and it's got some fingerprints on it. I got this brand new directly from Phil. And this is, yeah. Go check out my video on this, guys. It's 2+ pounds of ridiculous awesomeness. Okay, to give you an idea, we're doing a collection video, but here it is next to the Spyderco Delica. Okay. And this one's even harder to close because it is just so thick of a lock bar. It's hard, guys. These are not your everyday blades. And then the War Crime Flipper, also from Phil Harvey. This one is ridiculous in blade thickness. It's almost an inch, if I remember. And this is dagger style. It's not sharpened on the backside, but this is designed to penetrate and create a ginormous wound cavity. Okay. Everybody thinks the backspacer is completely uncomfortable looking. Well, it is uncomfortable looking, but my hand never touches the backspacer because it's just so big and girthy. Again, I will be honest, this one actually is easy to close, but these are not ones I carry. I mean, I'm going to be honest, guys. Knives like this are not your daily carry knives. They are just awesome, and I could not own them, if that makes sense. Had to own them. They're just so ridiculous that they're sweet. Okay, let me take a quick glance around. I believe that is the entire collection that I own right now. There are some like utility knife in the garage. There's like a drywall knife, drywall saw. I didn't bring those out. And then I think I have a couple of like really beater knives over there that are just, you know, unworthy of really bringing out, right? So there's 2 or 3 more. Now, I did not count all of these, but if you have listened and followed to the very bitter end, you can, and if you want to count, I'll do a giveaway. Just to see if anybody's listening to the end. I'll do a giveaway. Comment down below the number of knives that I showed in this video. And in a few days, I will do a random comment generator picker thing. And I will give something away to whoever comments the correct number of knives that I showed in this collection video. I don't even know. I'd have to go to my spreadsheet to see, but I will actually watch the video and count them as I go so that I know the true and correct number. So, all right, guys, there you have it. I know this was long. I appreciate you sticking with me. If you did, please comment down below. If there's a knife that you would like to see more of or questions about, please ask down below. A lot of talking here. I don't even know how long this was because I did have to pause it at one point. So it's probably like 30-minute videos. Crazy. There you go. Thanks, guys. We'll see you tomorrow on the next video.